frustrated from ripped napkins and tissue paper images when you're working your art, these products are so fantastic to use, but they can be hard to work with and can often rip. But what if you're like me and just love the translucency and the instant imagery that you get from these products? Or maybe you want to die cut these images, but it feels impossible. Not anymore. Hi, my name is Nadine Milton, and I'm a mixed media artist living in Canada. Join me as I share some of my favorite hacks for getting the most out of our napkins and tissue paper. So napkins give you a variety of images, from simple patterns that you can use for backgrounds to unique focal images. I also enjoy using printed tissue papers with unique patterns, but if this is out of your budget, you can always alter white or colored tissue paper using stamps, acrylic paints, and other mediums. If you'd like to learn more about altering tissue paper, see the video links in the description for more tutorials. So our biggest problem when working with napkins is that we're working with a very fine surface. So once we remove those layers of napkin, these are easy to tear, and especially if you're trying to go around an object like this, it can be a little hard to cut, it can be a little hard to control because it is going to tear easily. So what we're going to use, and what's going to be our one thing that's going to make this so much better, is freezer paper. So with this particular napkin image, I'm going to be using a combination of freezer paper or any sort of non-stick surface. So if you happen to have wax paper or parchment paper, those ones I haven't used because I do have a lot of good freezer paper that I use for most of my art. Those can also work as well. And I'm going to be using some sort of glue. So today I'm using fluid matte medium. If you don't have matte medium, you can use Mod Podge. You can also use Elmer's Glue All. This one's worked really well for me, but you got to water it down quite a bit. The same with the Mod Podge. If the Mod Podge is tearing your napkin, you need to go thinner with it. So we're looking for something that has about the consistency of maple syrup or some sort of syrup. It's not completely watery, but at the same time, it's going to flow and run fairly easily. And so the one thing we're going to do is just lay down our napkin, and we're going to add the medium on top. And what that's going to do is actually going to absorb into the surface through the napkin to the back, basically sealing it in. And this just makes it stronger. That's all this is doing, really, is making this stronger. If you find that you start getting a little bit of wrinkling, you can also try to add a little bit underneath if you think that might work better. It depends on the medium you're using, the napkin you're using, if you're using a soft brush. Sometimes I find it works better when you add in a layer underneath. Sometimes it doesn't. It kind of depends. And so for this image, I know I'm going to be removing all of that white area around it with scissors once we've pulled this off of our sheet after it's dried. And this is basically the one way that we can strengthen these before adding them to our projects. So you might go like, well, why don't you just add it straight on? You can, but what I like about this is this gives me more options. This allows me to cut around things. This allows me to add it maybe in a different layer. This also allows me to addition my pieces. So if I find that I'm having a piece, I'm like, I'm not sure if it's going to work on my project. Well, you can put it down on your freezer paper, let it dry, and pull it, and then we can see how it's actually going to look on my surface. And then if you do things like what I did there, I just realized I actually have a hole there, right? So what happens sometimes is you might make yourself a little hole. And if you have that, you might go, oh, I've ruined my piece. No, it's okay. That's the reason why I like to do these in advance. And so what caused this hole is I went over this a couple times, and I should have only done one pass. Okay, so I ended up doing 2 cows because this is the one that I originally did with the little error that I made. I ripped that napkin. So that's a nice thing, is you can always take them, put them out, and then that way you can always choose the best one, the one with the least amount of wrinkles, and the one that you like the best. So when we're looking to peel these off, all we need to do is find a corner and pull up. And there we go. And so you can still possibly rip these, but they are going to be a lot stronger. Kind of gets a little bit weird on the back. It has a lot to do with the tissue paper absorbs the matte medium, and it's just how it is. But what's nice about this is now we have something that's a little bit stronger. So if I pull on this, I can pull on that. You would normally rip tissue paper if you're doing that. So basically we plasticize this paper, and that makes it a lot easier to cut too. So, we can go around this. You can decide how precious you want to get. I did also show in a previous video just how you can more easily fussy cut around napkin images. Again, because that white ends up going quite clear, it also gives us the opportunity to be able to just remove that background. This is just a much easier way to be able to make these a little bit stronger and be able just to cut around them. But we're not going to leave it just here. This is just the basic concept. Now I'm going to show you how we can create collages with our tissue paper and just how we can take this technique further and be able to use it with things like die cutting. So this is a bit of experimental play. So if you ever wanted to know, well, what if I add these two napkin types together? What are they going to look like? Can I layer these things? So one thing I always do is using a water brush to tear these first. That's a nice way of getting a nice soft edge. And this can help us create sections and areas that we're going to use on our piece of collage paper. What's nice about this is, again, we can do other things with these than just adding them as a single layer on a project on white. We can do different things with them the moment we start turning them into collage paper. This is also a great way, especially if you are worried about your project, or like, oh, I'm really precious about this project and I don't want to screw it up, or you're feeling really uncertain about it. Try this. Do these, add them onto your piece of freezer paper, and then, from there, remove it, add it to your project. That way, for sure, you're going to get the result you want. So it's a chance to be able to maybe audition some things, is what I like to call it, where we're trying things. We're going to see, does it work? Does it not work? Are we happy with it? Does it need to be changed? Is it too transparent? Is it not transparent enough? And then that way, we're not ever forced to stick with just one thing. We add this piece of napkin just straight on the surface. And again, this is the nice thing about the freezer paper, is that I find you get less wrinkles this way. You'll still get a few, but I don't find it's quite as wrinkly as I find going straight on paper. So if you're one of those people who's like, I really want to get rid of the wrinkles, try this. You might find that with the sealed surface of the freezer paper, you're getting less wrinkles. It's so funny. I am not a person who's really particular about not having wrinkles in my napkins, just because I see it as a place for more texture. But if you're a person who's like, I really don't like the wrinkles, well, this may be a much better choice for you. So you can see, by layering these together, we can soften that image. We can open up some design ideas. And this is the thing with layering, is it doesn't always have to be in one go. It doesn't have to be only way we can use napkin images is in one layer. Nope, not necessarily. And so you can see I'm not being as careful as I could be. And I'm also reusing some of my freezer paper, so it's already a little wrinkly. So that's why I'm getting the wrinkles. But I personally love these wrinkles. I think that just adds a lot to the surface. I'm using a soft brush. I'm going carefully. I'm getting away with adding in layers of napkin on top of each other. If at any point you're finding that it is tearing, add your first layer, dry with heat gun, add in your second layer of napkin. And again, you may just need to work in stages. I'm just being a little impatient. If you know me, I'm not one to dry things a lot. I'm just like, let's get in there and go do stuff, right? But at the same time, if you're finding you're having issues with that, that is a good option. So what I'm doing here is, because of the fact that I already have a little bit of matte medium already on the surface, it's still wet, I'm finding I can just add in another layer of napkin on top. I don't need to add any more to the surface because it's already absorbing. It's working really well. But you can see that by doing it this way, we're getting some really different stuff, right? We're not getting your typical, look with a napkin. And if you have a good napkin collection, you only use one layer at a time. Start playing with your layers. Start playing with what you have. You may find that by layering your napkins like this, you're going to end up with something really unique. This again, make sure you stay to the end of the video. That's where I'm going to be you're going to have a few aha moments. So yeah, bear with me. It'll be worth it. So I guess, have you ever tried anything like this before? Is this something you'd even think of trying? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I always am curious to see kind of how people use their own stuff. We all have different techniques. We all have different ways of doing our creativity and our art. Just our own perspective can bring in some really unique techniques. And I would love to know how you use yours. Do you do stuff like this, or is it everything's on the page? So you can see here, I was being a little too harsh. I have a big hole there. That's okay. And that's the other thing that's nice about doing it this way. But again, because we're working in layers, not a problem. I'm just gonna cover that up with something else. I'm not using a ton of napkin types. You could go all in and use all the napkin types. There's no reason you can't.
So one of the things I find is I'm always looking for things that are a bit transparent. I think some people like to build and build and build and build. I like, finding these transparent layers. It allows, things peeking through. It allows for just a different take on mixed media. And it's just something that I particularly like. So that's why I'm always going like, well, how can I make a different type of transparent layer? How can I mix this up a bit so it's something a little bit different? Okay, well, there we go. That I really like. You can usually tell it is dry when it feels room temperature. If it doesn't feel room temperature, you may want to give it another minute or take a heat gun to it. All this stuff doesn't hurt, just for making sure it is fully dry, because the moment it's a little soft, that's usually when it's going to tear. It's on its way to being dry, but it's not fully dry. So yeah, just be nice and careful as you pull. And this is where I always would suggest adding a little bit past the edges when you do this, because even if you have a little bit of an acrylic film, the biggest thing about it is it's going to make the paper nice and strong. You're going to definitely end up with a strong surface. Okay, so if you look at that, you can actually see my table a little bit underneath it. You can see with my hands, look at how thin those layers are. Even on the back, it's always a little bit different. I find the back always has this little bit of the sheen that you don't get from the front. You get more of that matte medium look. So I think it's just you get a little less mattifying on this side for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what the chemistry behind it is with that freezer paper, but that's kind of how it works. So with these napkin pieces, even though they are a lot stronger, they're bendy, we can fold them, whatever, they're still fairly delicate. So what I would suggest, if you do want to cut them, grab a cutting mat, grab a knife, and a nice sharp edge, and just cut it like so. You can see it still kind of wants to move underneath that knife. So by having a nice sharp knife and a nice cutting mat, you can definitely get a really sharp cut that's going to do exactly what you need it to do. Right, so what can we do with these pieces? So like the one that I showed you how you could cut out, you could easily grab a piece of burlap or just really any surface. This one I chose because, again, it has a lot of texture. It has that nice little bits of inking on it. And you can see that if you add that on, you're going to be able to see those layers underneath it. And this doesn't have to be the end. But what's really nice about when we do our own collage papers like this, we can cut them out, we can create edges, we can have borders on our art journal pieces. This opens a lot of creative options. The other thing we can do with this is use these metal dies. And if you have a die cutting machine, like I do, and you're able to cut out these intricate dies. What's nice about these ones is because they have the cut shape around them. You're not having to have a blade across them or anything. They basically punch them out. And when they do punch them out, then you end up with things like these cute little rabbits, right? These are just little bits of that tissue paper collage. Now this could be added to a project as well. You can also have shapes like this. This is the one that has like the negative shapes. So you cut up and around things and you end up with really interesting shapes. One really great way you can use this is I had a die that did flowers, and because I was using the napkins, now I have these tiny little napkin flowers that work beautifully and can be used in any of my projects. And what I would do with these is I would cut out more of the flower images and I would stack them against white and ones with text paper on them. And then that way you get a really dimensional flower. It isn't necessarily super thick, but it is a semi-translucent. You can add other things to this as well. You could add stamping to these just to add a little bit more of something to these. So, but this just changes how you can use napkins in your projects. So thanks for joining me as we've been discovering new ways of using napkins and tissue paper in our creative practice. Make sure to come by next Saturday as I'll be sharing a new project using the papers we've created in today's video. And make sure to subscribe to be notified of my upcoming videos, and please leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'd love to hear what you think about this technique and if you're struggling with it in any way. If you're looking for more inspiration using napkins and tissue paper, check out this playlist with projects and techniques to get you started. So I'll see you in those next videos.